Hi, I'm Amelia and First Rate Tutors reached out to me to do a collab on my experience with A-levels, sixth form, etc. So if you don't know, First Rate Tutors is a study channel for A-levels and GCSEs, and I found YouTube channels so helpful during my GCSEs and sixth forms. So if you don't know who they are, there will be a link to the channel in the description, and if you are watching on First Rate Tutors, there will be a link to my channel in the description. So First Rate Tutors has asked me some questions on my experiences and stuff, so I'm just gonna get started on them. So the first question is, how was it like studying extremely diverse A-levels like art, design, technology, as well as maths, and how did you make sure you made time for each and get top A-level marks? I'm guessing a lot of you won't know that those are the A-levels I did. I ended up getting a B with the B in maths. Firstly, I feel like I should start off with I chose those subjects because I knew that I would need maths and a creative subject to get into a design degree at uni, so that is why I chose maths. Back to the question. I feel like my sixth form experience was like quite different to other people's experiences because of the subjects I took. So my homework was practically only maths homework because so much of the other stuff was like coursework practically. In year 12, I feel like I didn't really time manage that well with different subjects, but in year 13 I definitely like sorted that out and made sure I was giving enough allocated time to each subject. So I started doing my maths homework like practically as soon as I got it, and I would do it like in my freeze at school, so that I was in that like environment of like education, I guess. I just feel like certain things I thrive more at school and certain things I thrive more at home, and maths I definitely thrived more in that school environment of just like sitting down working through stuff with like the textbooks and everything laid out. And if I got the maths homework done like in the freeze I didn't have any maths homework to do, I would then do bits and pieces of coursework that were like continuous that I eventually had to do, but I didn't have to do them in like a certain time period for art and DT. Another way that I made sure I had enough time between the creative and the maths was I got myself a maths tutor. So I was practically only doing art and like a little bit of DT at home, like over the weekends and stuff, because when you do a majority of coursework subjects, it's not like easy to handle a job as well or something on top of that. So I ended up being creative a lot of the time when I was at home, and it just allowed me to like have this like chill zone of art and DT. Like it was just so different doing those subjects at home, but I didn't want to then like exclude maths from home and from my time outside of school, so that's why I got the tutor. Sorry, I'm talking too much. Sorry, I need to get to the points quicker because I'm still on the first question. So having a maths tutor definitely helped because it helped me like set another hour of the week to maths. Like I definitely feel like if you're struggling with managing your time, you should like get yourself a tutor, or maybe even if like you have a free and you can ask like a teacher like, are you free at this time, could I go through some stuff with you, so that you are actually making that time like that specific subject time. I just feel like that was so important to me having a routine. Even though I didn't really have a routine, it definitely helped. Okay, I'm moving on. What university will you be attending? So here's the thing, I am not going to university. I applied for Loughborough University for industrial design as a BA, a Baccalaureate of Arts if you don't know, and I applied at Bath Spa University for furniture and product design. Bath Spa was my first choice, but it was, I don't know why I say but, because you know it's not like a bad thing, but it was a unconditional offer after I got an interview. So it was CCC, then it was an unconditional, and Loughborough was AAB, so I don't even know if I would have gotten into Loughborough because AAB were my results after the whole... Wait, actually I think I needed ABB to get into Loughborough. I can't remember, I'm so sorry. I may have needed ABB to get into Loughborough, but I still didn't get that on results day. I got BBB on results day. Yeah, if you're on my video, I'll leave the links to all the videos I've done previously talking about A-levels and stuff, because I did a results day reaction and like a follow-up thoughts and feelings of the whole change that happened. So I will not be attending university. There is like so many reasons that I didn't want to go to university anyway, like the social aspect. I just couldn't see myself like forcing myself to make friends or stuff like that, and I didn't really want to like have another really big change in my life again. I don't know, and I didn't want to like spend the money on a degree, on getting a degree that I didn't need to do work to get a job, basically, because I know that even with a degree that doesn't mean that you're gonna get into the design industry. So when I found out about that, it kind of just like disheartened me. So I was looking into like apprenticeships, but there weren't a lot of opportunities. Unfortunately, most apprenticeships aren't in creative industries, but I feel like in the future, if that happened, if so many more apprenticeships were available in the creative industry, I just feel like more people would just thrive in those areas. For you students actually to further place at university, why did you decide to postpone starting uni? So I did defer my place at uni because I didn't want to completely rule it out, because my whole life I thought I wanted to go to uni to do something in design. So making that decision was like a very tough decision in my mind, but like I knew that I wasn't ready for it. Even without all the stuff that's going on right now, I knew that it just like wasn't going to be the right place for me or stuff like that. If you don't know what deferring is, it basically means that you can like ask the uni, could you keep this like place open for me for the next year? If you did like decide, oh actually I want to go on a gap year or something, then you are allowed to do that. It's not like set in stone once you get an unconditional place. Like also I still had that option of going to Loughborough. It just happened that Bath Spa was like my favourite of the two anyway, but it was like my favourite if I wanted to go, and that was like always the issue that I kept coming back to, is I was like I just like don't want to waste my parents' money on this degree that I know may not actually help me get a job. Many students have glamorized ideas of starting a career as an influencer or performer rather than going into further education. As a YouTuber yourself, do you think it's a good idea to leave school or sixth form to pursue this, or is it better to try and get qualifications as well? I don't see my YouTube as a career. I see it as a hobby. So I kind of always knew that I wanted to start YouTube as soon as I got out of school. I heard something like a lot from YouTubers, like bigger YouTubers, who always said that like if you go into YouTube looking for like money or expecting money and fame, like you're bound to fail. It's not gonna happen for you, because it's not like that. The YouTube algorithm isn't simple, is the best way to put it. It's not simple. It's not an easy thing to just like, you just post one video and it blows up, it gets like 10 million views. That's not how it works, unfortunately. So I see this as a hobby, and if it turns into something else, something more, then like I am more than happy to maybe like move my life around a little bit to make that easier for me to like handle stuff as a job if that happens in the future. I think it's important to mention that I have a job. I have a part-time job. I found myself a job as a set designer, and in reality, I think what I wanted most was like a job, then an apprenticeship, then going to university or like gap year university or whatever. But I never wanted a job in like retail or something that wasn't going to be like beneficial in my career. Like I obviously understand the importance of having a job in retail or just having a job full stop, but I just didn't really want that. I wanted a meaningful job that was gonna like progress into so much in the future. So my job is as a set designer. It's part-time, which allows me to also do YouTube as a hobby. Honestly, doing YouTube just gives me something to do with my time that is creative in just like such a different aspect than I've ever had before, because I just love to just output all of my creativity. So I feel like it's just been good for like me to do YouTube. Okay, so here's my thoughts about qualifications versus like work. If you can get yourself work that is more meaningful than the qualifications that you are going to get, then you should go with the work. But I don't think it's smart to leave school to do YouTube if you don't already have a platform with like an income on the horizon. I don't think it's smart to make that decision and expect something from YouTube, because YouTube doesn't owe you that. You don't like get a contract with YouTube. They don't employ you as such, so they don't owe you money for the content you put out. So it was more meaningful for me to go into a job as a set designer than do a degree, because I will have all those years of experience as a set designer before all the people from uni have. They've just got the degree. They don't have the experience of actually working in a job in design. Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? I feel like I see myself in like the same position as I am right now. I'm pretty content with like everything that I'm doing, like the way my life's structured and stuff. I feel like my life is so much more structured. I just feel like I was able to like center myself, and now I'm just like going for it in life. So I see myself like moved out but still doing the set designer job. I see myself in that role for like a long time, I can't lie. And because it's like a part-time job, so that job allows me to like be flexible with the YouTube. So if like the YouTube was to become a part of my income or a part or another job for me, then I feel like I'd be able to balance them pretty well. That's where I want to see myself in 5 years, or where I do see myself in 5 years is still balancing the YouTube and the job that I have. So I think I've touched on everything that I want to. If you have any questions, leave them below. I will make sure to check the video on First Rate Tutors and answer questions if you have them. So if you're watching on First Rate Tutors, the link to my channel will be below, and if you're watching on my channel, the link to First Rate Tutors will be below, so you can check out either of our content, both of our content, whatever you want to do. Okay, goodbye.